Alright, YouTube, I'm at Barnes and Nobles and I am
Why am I red?
with Santa. So here you go.
It's hot. It's hot.
You know, Santa's used to the North Pole. It's much colder there. So Santa's hot.
Okay, y'all ready for me to read? I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you know how to catch Santa? Well, this book's gonna tell you, I think. We're gonna read it. It says how to catch Santa. After waiting for days and days and days, it's finally Christmas Eve. That's when you can try to catch Santa. See the pictures? The little kids? They're around the tree at Christmas Eve. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh.
Good morning, everybody. It is the 21st. I wanted to do Vlogmas, but it didn't work out like I wanted it to. I had a couple with my camera and I had to get it looked at, and I'm just getting it back. But I did want to do Draw My Life for the holidays, to kind of get a better description of me and let you know my backstory. I had a little board, but Brianna used it for something and now we can't find it. So we're gonna old school it. And my mom, I'm a writer. My mom gave me this cool little pad here, so I'm gonna use this pad and kind of just break down the story about me, and we'll go from there. I hope it's very informative, just give you guys a bit of insight of who I am, and that's it. So here we go, you guys. All right, everybody. First of all, my name is Alysha, and I am an only child. My mom, let me give her some cute hair, y'all, is Linda, and then my dad, and then there's me. Okay. Was born the only child, and it was boring as an only child. I really didn't enjoy being an only child, but yeah, I was the only child. And mom and dad, probably when I was around young age, I was spoiled. My mom worked at a place called Brian Williamson back in the day, and me and her were very close growing up. She always took me shopping. People used to make fun of us because we were always shopping, and I enjoyed it. Of course I did as a kid. So it was always shopping, going to different places, buying different things. I never wanted for anything. When it was that time of year for me to go to school, I was always, you know, fresh. I always had some type of new purse, or I had something new. And I never, ever wanted for anything coming up. I always kind of got what I wanted. But as time grew, I want to say when I was a teenager, my mom and my dad, we'll give him a mustache. My mom and dad. My dad was a street person. He really was never the homebody type. But eventually they got divorced. I was probably around 12 or 13 when they got divorced, but it happened. They got divorced, and it really, really, really hurt, you know. But I remember hearing so much arguing as a little girl. Never got violent, but mom would be happy one minute, and then when dad came around, you know, it was a completely different thing. So it let me know that it was time for them to get divorced. I was very close to my cousin, still is. Very, very close to my cousin Tamika. And I have another cousin named Lois. And I'm very, 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 very close with them. Since I am an only child. They have brothers. Both of them. I'm the only kind of think about it, I'm the only grandchild in my grandma's family that did not have a sibling. That sucks. But yeah, that's that's an issue. I went to Union Elementary as a kid here in Macon, and I loved Union. Love Union. And then from Union, I went to Weaver, and I opened up Weaver. Yeah, my class, we opened up Weaver, and then I went to Westside later, and loved Westside. Made a lot of memories of Westside. I graduated in 2002 from Westside. Once I left Westside High School, I got accepted to Payne College, and I went there with one of my high school friends. Went to Payne College. It was fun. It's in Augusta, Georgia, and I was nervous as all heck to leave home to go to college. I was scared. I didn't know how it was going to be, what to expect. I was very scared. So, you guys, I finished my first semester. Did not make good grades because I just could not get to the swing of things. I kind of took college as a joke. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So it didn't work out. So I came back on home to Macon because my mom was like, "Oh no, honey, this is not gonna work." She was very disappointed in me, and I was disappointed in myself because I didn't do what I thought I was gonna do in college. Came back home, excuse me, and I ended up getting an interest in beauty. And I had always done hair on the side, but I never really thought anything about it. Coming up, I was around a lot of hairstylists at a salon called Hair Palace, which is where I got my hair done as a little girl. And I had a beautician named Miss Belinda who did me and my mom's hair. We met her at Macy's, but she ended up going to the Hair Palace eventually, and me and her got very, very close. And because of her, she's the one that strikes my interest to do hair. Her as well as Miss Marable were like my mentors, and they allowed me to get a shampooing gig while I was in high school, pretty much. And it really gave me a better insight of doing hair, and I also got the insight of doing wigs as well, because it was a salon / a wig salon as well. So because of them, I went to API for hair school, and I completed my cosmetology studying, or whatever you want to call it. I completed it, and I loved it. My nickname in hair school was Biscuit. Everybody knew me as Biscuit. Long story, you guys. But they called me Biscuit because I didn't have much money then, and Red Lobster was across the street, and it was the quick and easiest way for me to get something to eat. And it would be times I would get a dozen thing of biscuits, and I would tear them things up, you guys. You know, them biscuits, I don't know if I could draw it, but those biscuits they got at Red Lobster, you guys, when I tell you, the cheddar biscuits are bomb. Go get them. They're good. If you haven't tried them, they're bomb. You guys go get them. So, while in hair school, I met a gentleman through a group called the Head Bustles, and his name was Dre. I met Dre, and I got involved with Dre very quickly, and I really wasn't intending to, but fell ahead of it. He was younger than me, which was weird. I never dated younger, but he was younger than me. But he was, that was my boo. I loved him, cared about him. But I found out one day during a Head Bustles trip that Dre was married. And I didn't know. I mean, the group knew, but they didn't tell me. And I had to find out the hard way because it was a fight with the Head Busters. And I found out that he was married. So that was like, oh, hell no. No. So me and him started talking that night. And ended up talking to one of the other Head Busters named Bear. And Bear was the quiet type. He was, I don't know. Me and Bear just we fell head over heels very quickly. Very quickly we fell head over heels. And it was to the point that if you saw him, you saw me. And I love Bear. That was a sweetheart. Eventually over time, me and Bear kind of went our separate ways. And I started kind of just pulling myself away from the groups. I was staying away from home. I was always they had this place called the Honeycomb. And the Honeycomb was pretty much like all of the security guys' spot. So we would stay there, and I would never go home. But eventually I met someone else, and kind of left the group, and meeting him changed my life. And it changed my life quickly. His name was Malik. We met and started dating. And eventually, with me and Malik, it went very, very, very fast. So fast, in fact, that I became pregnant. I had never been pregnant before. I thought I was just tripping. I didn't think I could get pregnant. I'm not gonna lie. I was a church girl. And I knew better, and I just didn't think I could get pregnant. But when I got pregnant, I got very, very sick. So sick and fat that I could not stop throwing up. Went to the hospital, and eventually I was diagnosed with central pontine myelolysis, which is a rare brain disorder. So rare, in fact, that eventually over time, I was told I was the first African American to ever have it and survive. So, long story short, I really can't draw that part because it's so descriptive. But I got sick, could not walk, and we didn't know what was going on because I could walk one day and the next I couldn't. So eventually they sent me to a place called Warm Springs, Georgia for rehabilitation. And that's where President Roosevelt went when he had polio. So I went there, and my life changed. All my friends, except for one, Lakeria, that I had, walked out my life. My child's father walked out, didn't look back. My family was there through thick and thin. My family never left my side. So I stayed there for about 3 months. Was told that they didn't know my future. They didn't know if I was ever going to walk because it was so rare. But I was given my wheelchair there in Warm Springs. And I had to go through therapy, both vocational and physical. And my life just changed. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. Came back home to Macon, but due to me being in the wheelchair, Me and my mom had to move with my grandmother, so someone was always home with me 24/7. That was a requirement from the rehab, is that if I went home, somebody had to be home with 24/7. So my grandmama took all that responsibility and did that for me. I ended up giving birth or went into labor on October the went in labor on October 20th. My mom was at work and I just started having these pains all of a sudden. I had just left Emory Hospital. My mom had wrote a doctor in Emory called Dr. Esper, and he did some tests on me. And, well, not him himself, but a nurse. And the nurse did, it was like an electricity test. And it made, when I got out my wheelchair, I noticed some leakage. And I was like, what is that? You know, and I didn't think anything about it. So days later, I finally go into labor, and I went ballistic. I went throwing everything in the room. I was in the bed, and I was screaming, you know, like, help me, please help somebody. My grandmother's an outside person, so she was outside. And I was screaming, please, somebody help. I was throwing everything that was in sight. On the side of the bed was like a glass lamp, and I threw that. I threw that on the floor. I threw whatever I could because I was freaked. I never, you know, I didn't go to no pregnancy training because how everything happened. But we end up going to, well, they end up picking me up in the ambulance, and the ambulance, I'm not a good drawer, you guys, but the ambulance took me, and, you know, they went, and they drove, but before they could, even get to the hospital, they had to stop. I'm like, she's coming, and all the emotions hit. I was scared, I was nervous, and, I gave birth. My mom was following behind, so she didn't miss it. But I gave birth to my daughter, whom I named Miracle Grace. And unfortunately, when I gave birth, I didn't hear her cry. And at that time, I was like, what's going on? You know, maybe they had to suction her nose out. But all I remember hearing is, hurry up, we gotta get to the emergency room, hurry up. So once we got to the emergency room, they took her one way, and took me the next. And it was about 10 minutes, and the doctor came back in, and they was like, I'm sorry. When I heard I'm sorry, I screamed. I never forget. I can still hear myself screaming. And I cussed, and I told them they were lying. But my baby girl Miracle died October 20th, 2005. And it still hurts. Like, it still hurts. I went through a lot that pregnancy, being told I was the first African American to have a rare brain disorder, being told I was never going to walk, friends walking out. I went through a lot. And then, you know, that was my happiness. You know, I was kept on the path of recovery for her. And it didn't work out that way. But I will never forget Miracle. I never got the opportunity to be her mother in my eyes. Even though I carried her. But it hurts. It still hurts. So after that, we eventually moved out of my grandma's house. And we moved to another apartment, which is where I'm at now. I don't stay here anymore, but this is my old room, actually. I'm not going to do a pan out because it's a mess due to the holidays. But we ended up moving here. But I saved it. But my drawing sucks. So just draw my life in your head. I stopped drawing because my drawing really sucks. But I think the part I was at was I gave birth to Miracle. She was born October 20th, 2005. But due to everything I've been through, I really think the trauma on my body caused her to feel a little bit of that, but she unfortunately passed. I went through a lot of stuff, and she passed. We had her funeral October 26, 2015. I decided I wanted an autopsy because I didn't know if I was going to have future children. So I agreed to have an autopsy. I regret that I did. It changed. It distorted her whole face. So due to that fact, they had to make my daughter a face. And when I tell you that's a decision I wish I never made. I wish I never made that decision. It was horrendous. So that was my baby. I gave birth, so I was proud of her regardless. So I agreed to have an open casket funeral, and I never forget being rolled down the aisle and seeing people come after me and be like, oh, you know, they were shocked at what they saw. But I don't know, you guys. It still hurts. It still hurts. Years and years later, not years and years later, but a couple years later, I ended up meeting another gentleman named, I'm not going to name him because he might see this, but I met Brianna's father, and our relationship really wasn't a relationship. We met each other and got to know each other a little bit, and then we liked each other, but you know, he made it seem like it was going to be a relationship, but it really wasn't. We had relations and got pregnant with Brianna. I was very, very, very nervous that what happened the first time was going to happen again. But I did get sick with Brianna the first couple months. I got sick and was even placed in the hospital. And during this time, he just disappeared. I mean, he got his number changed. Back then, we had Facebook. Well, not Facebook yet. We had MySpace. And he didn't pick up MySpace. Like, he just disconnected from everything. But, yes, that's the phone ringing. I don't know who's calling my mom's house at 6 o'clock in the morning. But I'm not going to pick up. It's 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning. But, he just disappeared and left me dry. So, you know, I felt like a whore. I'm like, this nigga has said he got me pregnant and just dipped. So I went through majority of my pregnancy, you guys. And he finally popped back up when I was 8 months pregnant. Which pretty much gave me a synopsis of how it was going to be. Gave birth to Brianna August 22nd. I was right here in this room when I went in labor. It was a smooth labor. I had Bree within an hour of going into labor. No medication, no nothing. I'm a G, childbirth. But gave birth to her, and I was so happy that she was healthy. So fast forward many years later, Brown is now 6, and I am now 31. And I have went through a lot this year, you guys. I've been evicted from this apartment, not this particular apartment, but this complex. Got evicted. I was getting SSI, lost that. Ended up getting a wage garnishment from a student loan place, which took like almost $150 out of my check. Child support, I only get $200 a month, and from what I'm hearing from everybody, I should be getting more than that. But dealing with him is like dealing with Satan. I don't care what anybody says. He might appear to be sweet because he is a teacher, but dealing with him gets on my nerves because he's not a good father. Just because you send money to a child does not make you a good father. And he's definitely not a good father. He has not seen Brianna. If he's seen Brianna this year, it might have been once. But he only sees Brianna for a birthday. He did not see her this year. He stays an hour and a half, 2 hours away, you guys. And I understand everything that's happening in everybody's life, but you can't neglect your child. And in the midst of all of this with Brianna, he has an older child that I found out about when I was pregnant. And that child might be like 8. That child might be about 10 years old now. But in the midst of everything I'm going through, being a single mom, he has sat here and got another female pregnant. So now he has another child. And I'm sorry that happened to you, boo boo, but I wasn't there with you to coach you to get off of her or to push her off of you. You can't keep getting women pregnant thinking you're not going to take responsibility. And it's not fair to me because I'm pulling teeth to be mom and dad in this relationship between me and my daughter, and that's not fair. But anywho, in the midst of all of that, around 2009, I met someone named Charles, and Charles stepped in as father for Brianna. He taught Brianna how to walk. When me and him got together, we would get in rooms. I didn't want to leave Brianna, and he was very respectful of me. And he would, hold the carriage for him and help with Bree. He was really dad for Bree. Bree loves Charles. Me and Charles got engaged about 2 years after we first got together. And that was my sweetheart. I love Charles. That was my sweetheart. Everything was going pretty good, but I did some things to kind of screw the relationship. He did some things, I did some things, but I did some things kind of worse than him. And I'm not going to go great detail, but I screwed it up. And I will admit that. I screwed up the relationship. Right now, we're kind of in a weird spot. We speak, but it's not the same. Do I love him? Yes. Very much. Because regardless of us splitting up, we always come back to one another. But right now, I think I hurt him. And he's kind of trying to shake that off. And he doesn't trust me right now. Which is understandable. But I miss him. And I love him. And we'll just see where it goes, you guys. But I currently work for the school system. I ended up getting the job due to Mr. Emmanuel Frazier, who's the principal now at Central. He was the principal at the school I was volunteering at, which was Union. But Union took me in. I was just a volunteer before I knew I was working there. So this is my first solid year at Union. And it's weird because I went to Union as a kid. But I love Union, love the parents, love the staff. And I love the kids. Being a clerk is a half and half position. What I mean by that, I enjoy it, but we don't get the pay that is allotted to us. We do a lot. And I call us the underdogs because we make the school. I've heard many people say, without you guys, the school wouldn't run. But if that's the case, if we're so vital, show us how vital we are. Treat us as vital as we are. And we don't get that treatment. At least some of us don't. Brianna today is now in the first grade. She's beautiful. Love my baby. Very beautiful. We get her ready for Christmas, and she's really excited. And I'm excited for her. But like I said, it's been hard. If it was not for my mom this Christmas, Brie wouldn't have got anything, really, because I have really been struggling. When I moved from here, I didn't have any help from family. I had to ask people that work with me, could they help me move? And they did. And where I moved to, I really don't like. I don't like it. It's somewhere to stay. But right now in my life, I'm just trying to shake off the hurt, shake off the pain, and do something positive to help somebody else out. I have my book out. I wrote Miracle about 2013, 14. I wrote Miracle. It didn't go off as big as I thought it would, and that's because I didn't push it. I don't know what to do when it comes to publicity. I have never done anything like that, but how can I put it? I'm tired of seeing everybody else move forward, and I'm just stuck in one spot. So that's gonna change. 2016, I'm gonna take my life goals by the horns and go. So I want to do an online magazine, which I've always said, but I'm doing it this year. And if I get support, I don't. Even with this YouTube thing, I think a lot of it with me for YouTube is that I was not doing videos every day because where I stay at now at my house, due to everything happening with me, I can't afford internet. So the only time I get internet was I come to my mom's house, but I might have to stay here more often so I can get these videos pumped out. But it hurts me when I go and see these other YouTubers and they're like millions of hits. And I feel like what I'm saying is important and somebody want to listen, but it takes time and effort, and I have not put in that effort, so what can I expect? So we will be doing more videos because I really feel like I have something to say. It want, other people that are going through the same thing to let me know. Let me know what they're feeling across the country. So, yeah, got evicted from here. Had to move somewhere else. Don't like it. Life has been hard, you guys. All I say is keep me in prayer. I'm going to do the online magazine next year. I want to do a play version of my story. And I want to do another book. So I have a lot I want to do, but no money to do it. So I'm just going to keep prayed up and see where God leads me. But that's my story, you guys. A young lady that was raised in a church that went from walking to wheelchair to walker to cane. Got pregnant again with a beautiful little girl named Brianna, and I'm still starting over, in my opinion. My life has not been the same since my illness. End up even dealing with some panic attack issues I never had before. Fast pulse rate, I had to take medicine for that. But it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but I just want to use YouTube, as a way of using it as an outlet. Maybe talk to other women that have lost children, single mothers. Just I'm the only child, you guys, so I love to talk, and I use YouTube as having a whole bunch of girlfriends, or just being a ministry, if you will. But once again, thank you guys for listening to me rant. I like the Dry My Life, but I think it would have been better if I would have had my dry erase board, but my baby messed it up. So I had to kind of just make do what I had. But thank you guys for listening to me. Once again, like I said, it's December 21st. It's like 6 in the morning. And I just wanted to do this before Brianna got up. But I try to get snippets of my day for you guys and just go from there. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you guys for your support, and I hope that support continues and grows over time. But once again, thank you so much. Please leave your comments if you have any questions about my illness and what I do now and how does it happen, the signs of it, anything like that. And I'd be more than happy to talk with you. But once again, thank you guys. Hope you guys have a blessed Christmas. Enjoy yourself. And I love you guys. Bye-bye.